I'm an addict named Nancy. Whew. I don't know why I'm so nervous. I've shared a bunch of times before. This is just something different to me. But I want to start off by thanking the church for, inviting us out. I am grateful to be here. And anytime I'm asked to share anything that's recovery related, of course, this is faith and recovery, I say yes, because that's what they tell us to do in my fellowship, that you show up. So I'm grateful to be here. It's different, it's just, but it's, if you're in recovery, one of the main things that they tell you and that you learn in the first step is open-mindedness. So here I am. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about, I guess, my journey. And my clean date is September 24th, 2019. And it was, thank you. Thank you. It was not my first time coming around these rooms, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th. I've been trying to get this thing for over a decade. A little bit about my story is basically like I came here my last time when I was 42, but I started using and drinking at not early age, but like really kind of going all out in my 20s, my early 20s, I used to be a bartender, and at one point I was a flight attendant. I had no kids, and all through my 20s, life was a party until I had my daughter when I was 30. And my addiction really took off after she was born, and it started off like a lot of alcohol, really. And at the end of my run, it ended up with, down in the streets of West Baltimore and, getting and using and finding ways and means to get one more, like they talk about in the rooms. So it just went to a whole nother level. And that's what happens because the disease of addiction is progressive. So this time around, I didn't lose everything. I still had a car to drive. I still had a little bit of money. But I had more of a spiritual bottom where I felt just like I was a shell of a person. I looked like a shell of a person. I was unrecognizable and looked completely different than you see today. I was probably 25, 30 pounds lighter, like my cheeks were all sunken in, and I just looked terrible, and I was just tired. I had, periods of recovery or periods of abstinence, and I've tried the rooms, and I've tried doing step work, and sometimes around I would get a sponsor, I would get a home group, I would go to meetings, but I wouldn't always work the steps. And I certainly, even though I've always believed in God as my higher power, I didn't really incorporate that into my program. And every time, it's part of the steps. I just was like, okay, whatever, I don't even care about that. I care, but I couldn't wrap my head around reliance on God, reliance on a higher power until this time around. And I've always been told that was one of the main things that I lacked in my program. And that's one of the pillars of this program that I work today. One of the pillars that runs my life. Narcotics Anonymous is something that I love, I cherish it, I will have it as a part of my life for the rest of my life. And as long as I do that, I'm going to continue striving for a better relationship with God, because I swear that's what's brought me and kept me here this time around. So when I asked my sponsor to sponsor me this time around, I had already heard her speak before, and I was like, oh my God, she knows what she's talking about. She's in the program, she lives the program. And at this point, she was engaged to, which they're now married, but is engaged to someone that was also in the program, and they lived it, and they lived a faith-based life, and she has integrity, and she carries herself like a lady, and she's respected, and just the way that she lives, that's what I wanted, and so that's why I chose her. And it's what I've always wanted, you know, someone like that, because I've always had sponsors, but I've never really had a real relationship that I've actually worked on. And I was intimidated by her and her, you know, recovery, and my sponsee sisters, they all had a bunch of time, and I was intimidated, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like I have to pull my weight. But I did. I started doing the work. I started being honest with her and doing what she was, taking her suggestions. I continued to show up every time that she asked me to do something. I was there because I wanted so bad to be close with her. There was my other sponsee sisters, which had a great relationship with her, and they would joke around and have fun, and I wanted that so bad. So I was there at every single thing that she asked me to do, and she did include me in everything. So then it was like coming time for their wedding, and she had asked me to be at the wedding. She invited me, or sent me an invite for like the bachelorette weekend, and then a wedding invite. And I was like, did you mean to send me that? Because I didn't think I deserved that, you know? I was like, and she's like, yes, I did, you know? So slowly but surely over the last, you know, almost 5 years, I have grown to have an amazing, not just relationship on a sponsorship level, but a friendship, a sisterhood with her. And I can't even explain it. Like they say, when the people, your recovery network around here becomes family. This is what's happened. Her husband is very close with my husband, and I love him, and I love her, and like we're all just like, we have the similar values, you know, and they set examples for us, but we also have value that we bring to them, and it's just like very much give and take. So today it's like my life is like not perfect, but every day I get closer and closer to where I want to be and who I want to be. The person I am right now on this stage is who I want to be. That's who I really feel like I am. You know, I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't steal anymore. You know, I'm not going to jail. I'm not doing the things that I used to do. And I'm reaping the benefits of it. You know, I feel like people trust me today, and people look at me. Like, I have 3 sponsees today that I rely on my sponsor to guide me to guide them. And they're all 3 individual women who have come to me. And of course, you know, me naturally as an addict, I'm like, why me? Like, why do you want me? You know, I only have 5 years. And like, I'm so quick to just be like, why me? You know, and just because that's our nature as an addict, that's part of our disease, you know, and that's why I work the steps, because like at the core of who I am, I still sometimes feel like I'm not enough or I'm not good enough. So, so I have 3 sponsees, and I actually feel like I'm doing a really good job with them. I mean, I'm sure I could do better, or like there's things I can learn, but I'm learning, and they all know that I'm learning. They all know that I'm not a professional at this, because there is no professional. We're human beings, and basically it's just one addict helping another addict go through the 12 steps and putting their hand in God's, you know? And the first 3 steps are so important when you're building that foundation, because it's all about God. It's all about God. And I think that's where I really started to just like get disciplined with it. And I always share this, that like part of my prayer routine is I have a rule that when I get up in the morning, I go get coffee, I sit on the couch, I'm not allowed to open up Facebook or Instagram or anything else or text. I have to pray first. I have a Bible app, I open it up, and I read the reading, and sometimes when I'm getting ready for work, I'll put like a podcast on or something that's faith-based, just so I can hear the word. I can hear it. And then, you know, we go to church. It's been sporadic because our kids have been in sports, but my husband and I try to go every Sunday. If we can, we're going to church. And I'm learning about Christianity. I'm learning about Christianity because Narcotics Anonymous really, I feel like, has brought me to God. So I'm learning about Christianity. I'm learning about the things in the Bible, and I'm so open to it. And I got baptized last year, but I'm still, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But like, I'm like, I don't know a whole lot. I have questions. Our pastor married us in September, and I feel very comfortable around him and his wife. So I feel like I can ask them questions. I have so many questions. I'm like, where do I find the answer to that? And I'm like, I try to use Google a lot, but it doesn't matter. It's a lifelong journey, right? It's just a lifelong journey. I was always raised to believe in God, and I've been raised to say the Lord's Prayer, but to go deeper into the story in the Word is what I'm learning as an adult. So for me, this is just part of my journey. I'm grateful to be here. I'm proud to be a member of Narcotics Anonymous, and I'm grateful to be here, and thanks for letting me share. I'm going to give my sponsor.